What's going on, guys? It looks like we're live. I think we're live. What's happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. If it's your first time, it's a live show. So get ready to listen to me chat incessantly for about an hour. But listen, if it is your first time, consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out a ton. Okay, so all the points of business are taken care of. So, yes, it's your favorite background noise generator up to chat about pretty much anything you want to chat about moto related, whether it's motorcycles, motor cars, or what have you. Now, I have worn out this whole Dodge thing. I have to admit. I mean, I've only been in and around this Mopar community for the better half a decade. Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. 2016, carry the one, divide by the hypotenuse, 9 or 10 years. Yeah, I've been doing this for a hot minute on the Mopar side, pretty much played itself out at this point, as Dodge would agree, considering the fact that everything that they're coming out with right now is either far overpriced or far underwanted. See, that's the big issue right now with the Mopar verse. Ain't nothing really to talk about. Want to talk about a Viper? I've had 3 of them, but they haven't made one in forever. You want to talk about Hellcats? Phenomenal, but they don't make them anymore. Oh, the demons and everything. Yeah, I get it. Okay, Dodge had their moment in the sun, and now it's over with. And I say that seriously saddened. I mean, it bums me out that the brand with the most America panache about it has gone out the way that it has. And I say gone out the way that it has because I want to remember Dodge the way that it was when it was a healthy, vibrant, beautiful schoolgirl that was wearing the sundress and running through the field and driving everybody crazy. That's what I want to remember about the Dodge. That's the Dodge that I have in my head, not the freaking psycho that went absolutely batshit crazy, started eating fucking yard animals, and basically took up every bad idea and every bad habit that you could, because that's in essence what Dodge has done. Dodge has kind of, it's the proverbial, it went to college and now it's come back. Okay. It's got metal going. It's got like the metal mustache thing. It's got the hair messed up. It's put on 47.5 pounds, doesn't take care of itself, smells like ass. That's what happened to this really pretty, really cool, very American thing. And that's the way that I'm seeing it now. And I don't want to see it like that. And I'm not saying that you can't come back. I'm just saying that they're not coming back anytime soon. And sometimes you have to separate yourself, even from family, friends especially, but especially still even more so than family, because that can be the most toxic thing for you. And that is what Dodge has turned into. It's always been a little bit testy, but have you noticed just how Dodge is got to be the most toxic community that's out there? I mean, if you're into old school stuff, Gen 3 guys clown on you. Into new school stuff, old heads want to tell you that it ain't a real Mopar. If it loses a race, it's got a built-in excuse because it's heavy. And if it always wins a race on a drag strip, right? There's so much like this. A Nag One, H8 HP stuff, yeah, all of that. 6.1. This is something that always cracks me up about the whole weird thing, especially when you get into the Gen 3 crowd. I will put out a video, and I can talk. This is one that's come up so many times now that I've quit counting, but it goes. I'll go, look, okay, for your 5.7, this is what works. If you take your camshaft profiles and kind of put them into a category you want to stick with, I will start by doing that, right? And I'll go through the same type of spiel that I always do when I'm talking about Gen 3 Hemis. And I'll lay it all out there, and it's a done deal. And I can put it out there, and the title will be 5.7 Hemi, what works? And then somebody gets mad that I didn't mention the 6.1. I mean, I'm surprised I don't get people going, well, you didn't mention the 7.3 Power Stroke diesel in that video. Yeah, the video is not about that. That's why I didn't mention it. See how this works? I mean, if you go to the library and you get a book and it's Alice in Wonderland, you can't bitch that it's not How to Tune Carburetors, right? Like, I'm not talking about, anyway, that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is, getting through all of this, there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to Dodge. I would love to hear where you guys are. If you've got something that you're working on, this is the opportunity to ask what works, what doesn't work. Why does this not work, but that does work? That kind of thing. Shoot away here on the live show. That way we can all partake. All right, guys. So checking in with y'all. Sam is in. Sovereign is in. What is up? I got the bald guy with the shades. I like it. This kid saying, you cold, B? Yeah, I'm freaking freezing. And the dadgum heater thing over here is kind of wheezing a little bit, trying to get some heat into this place. Not to mention, this is the other thing. I spent about 2 hours today on the GSX-R 1000. And so every part of me is cold, like to the core. So I'm trying to heat up a little bit. This kid saying, Dodge who? Yeah, Spike the Light from Sovereign. Yes. This kid saying, good evening, fellas. Sovereign, I have seen a review of the new Dodge Charger EV Scat Pack via the Throttle House, and it was not a positive one. Yeah, does it ever strike you guys as weird that they call it a Charger now? Shouldn't it be called a Chargee? I mean, the Charger is the thing that does the charging, and the Chargee is the thing that gets the charge. So why not call it the Chargee? It's the Chargee, boys. Go hop in the Chargee. If it'll make it 5 miles down the street, we can go get some pops, right? So the Chargee that everybody is talking about right now because it's news, yeah, it's not getting the best news. And this is the problem. A lot of folks want to get tired of people talking about the Chargee, but the issue is that it's the only thing to talk about. What else are you going to talk about? The pick 'em up trucks, ain't nobody doing nothing with those. You can't tune them, so nothing on the performance end. Direct Connection. Oh, remember them? They were the people that did was that the guys that yeah, oh yeah, the guys that did something internally with Dodge. Yeah, Direct Connection. Nobody's even talking about them anymore. Yeah, so for the Chargee, I don't even know what you're going to do with it right now. You're going to talk about it. So many of them are having problems right now that it's become a little bit of a joke. And, well, it's a joke on top of a joke. This is one of those Russian dolls that it just gets worse before it gets worse, right? That's what is happening with Dodge right now. And the problem is that they absolutely bent a knee and their back to political pressure where other manufacturers didn't or wouldn't, and basically didn't roll with market demand. See, this is what I want to illustrate this for you guys too. I rarely talk about the Camaro, and that is to my fault. That is my bad. The Camaro, the fact that that car didn't sell very well is why it's not being produced any longer, period. All right, there are ways to make the Camaro work. It's just that the car didn't sell nearly as well as the Challenger or the Mustang. In fact, it was a deep third when it comes to the 1, 2, and 3 that you would expect from the American automakers. So because of that, you're looking at a situation right now where you have no competition from Chevrolet simply because there was no market anymore. That platform was deemed to be a non-viable entity in their product lineup. Therefore, it got taxed. If it could ever be a viable product again, they would make it again. But here's the twist. Dodge is making an EV. You realize the kind of money that it took to put together the tooling and the technology to go into this EV, the dedication of the amount of people that sunk massive parts of their lives into that vehicle, and for it to be such a flop, guys, this is terrible, and it's by design. And this is what I'm on. This is what I think. Personal opinion, of course. They're jockeying for a government bailout. I mean, they're going to lose so much money that the only way that they'll be able to, they being Dodge as a brand, or Stellantis maybe, I don't know how this plays out corporately, but the only way to keep Dodge as viable, because they won't have any sales, they're going to be stuck with all this debt for all the development costs. Yeah, it's going to be a bailout. And that's the only thing that I can see that is going to help them, because it isn't their loyal, I don't know, customers, fans. It's not their brand loyalists for sure. Nobody asked for this car. In fact, so many people didn't ask for this exact car. People wanted a smaller car, something a bit more sporty, lighter on its feet, something that was going to be fun. Not this behemoth, man. My gosh, the thing is the size of a small school bus, and you're expecting people to get excited about it because it makes silly car noises out of a speaker. This is terrible. If you're a Dodge fan, this is the worst possible way you can see them go out, too. Look, I would have much rather seen Dodge go out on their shield in this case. It's kind of like watching your favorite boxer quit. Like, right in the middle of a round, just go like, I don't want to do this anymore, and walk out of the ring. That's the way that this feels a little bit. I mean, I would much rather see my favorite champion just get beat, outclassed, outskilled, whatever the case is, than to have them just absolutely, it's just like it's a waft is all it is. And that's the problem. You don't mind a loss if it's a noble and an honorable loss, but this just looks like it. Can I use the word cowardice? I think I will, because to me, it seems cowardly that they would come out with an EV that nobody wanted, that market conditions don't allow for it to be viable anyway to begin with. But they're going to do it because of what? Oh, because there's a mandate in 3030 that somehow or another. How the hell is government going to dictate what the free market is going to allow? It doesn't work like that. So anyway, this is basically what this is. It's a bunch of Euro cowards that bent every body part that they could over a barrel and on the ground to make some entity happy. And this is what you have to get for it. A failure, a failed product that, again, it's going to have people go, well, we don't understand why this is. You know this is coming. It's a lie. They know what they did. They don't believe them. Okay. They know what they did. It was malicious. It's destructive. And this brand, from all intents and purposes, salute. Cheers. It's been rad. Loved every minute of this latest iteration of what was one of the greatest, if not the greatest cars that was ever made in the LX platform, in the Challengers and Chargers. One of the greatest engines, I feel like, that has ever been sent out for mass production, which is the 392 Hemi. And by some correlation and by some association, I guess, the Hellcat variants. But yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Y'all did a swell job of taking that legacy and basically shitting all over it. And again, if you go, I can't believe this, clutch my pearl. No, you know what you did. You have to, you know what you did. And to say, well, there's an alternative like it, or you're so stupid that you don't realize. No. None of you are that dumb. You wouldn't be in the positions that you were in if you were so stupid. You're not stupid. This is by design, guys. So my question to all of you goes like this. Are you going to ever come back to Dodge? Provided they make something worth coming back to. That's a presumptive, right? Like, you get what I'm saying. Keep what you got. That was made when things were cool. But are you ever going to come back to Dodge for any reason whatsoever? Like, for another type of a brand. Maybe it's a Jeep. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But are you coming back to Mopar? I guess that's the more pressing question. Because after all of this, my answer to that is, oh, from one side of the screen to the next, hell no, I'm not coming back to Dodge. There's no freaking way. I don't care how fast it is. I don't care how good it is. It's not going to be, unless it fits the mold of the products that people are asking for and that people will actually buy. If not, forget about it. I'll be happy to live in the past the way that so many Mopar fans have had to do for the last 60 years. 60 years. Hold on. Let me remind you, 1964, the Street Hemi was released. That Polara with a Street Hemi was one of the nastiest cars you could run across on the street. that is when things got really live really quick for the Gen 2 Hemi. And then from there, it blossomed out into the Cuda, the Challenger, the Charger, and the like, right? But for the cars that it was available in, it was the mid-century super stock style cars that laid the groundwork for everything else that was to be. Okay, so what was it? 40 years after that, you got the newest, latest edition of the 392. And now we've had that for realistically about 10 years ish. Oh, wow, 50. Then you have it for 10. Now you're looking at your 60-year anniversary as of like right now. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. All those guys had to live in the past for half a decade until they got a car really worth crowing about. That's the thing. You're going to get all worked up about the Hurricane 6 Charger that's the size of, a small dump truck, weighs about the same, and needs all of the power just to get out of its own way. Not so sure I'm all worked up about that. Probably not feeling that so much. So let me dive back in here, chat with you guys. Oh. So I'm saying they were more excited about the six pack. It's the only one we're being excited about. Ken is in. Howdy to you. Sam saying, my luck is amazing. Shattered a bone in my wrist. But in other news, I'm going between a 5.3 and a GMC or a 6.4 and a Power Wagon. Go with the 6.4 and the Power Wagon. The funny thing about the 6.4 is it doesn't make a lot more power than the 5.3 in the truck application, but it always makes more torque. Like it's just there to really be a tow motor more than anything. Skid saying, how about a 6.2 pickup or a 5.0 F-150? I would agree with the 5.0 idea. Sam, probably was like a bad night at the bar currently. It left and can't remember how it fell asleep on its front porch. I believe that. Rum's asking, hey, B, do you know much about the Ford AOD tranny? A little bit. What year AOD should I replace my Cruise-O-Matic 3-speed trans with? Any of the mechanical, I wouldn't go with any of the electronics, the electronically controlled, but any of the AODs are okay. You can re-gear them. I'm trying to think of the gear pack that I went with. I had an AOD, well, it was an AODE that had a Crown Vic gear pack in it with an electronic torque converter lockout in one of my coupes. And I loved it. So you can go that route. I mean, go with the AODE if you want. Just really, all of them are good. As long as you're not trying to just heap a ton of power at it, you'll be fine. They're actually not bad transmissions. I really liked mine. Sovereign saying Throttle House didn't like how the powertrain response felt, and they didn't like how numb and unresponsive the steering was because the thing weighs 6,000 pounds. It's going, yes, the Chargy. It's what it is. It's the Chargy. I can't Charger anymore. Sorry. It's not a Charger. It's a Chargy. Delay in power delivery. Yep. Skin Sam was checking out some square bodies the other day. Found a decent one for $25K with a new 350 crate back with a turbo 350. For when I want to mess around when I'm not on the motorcycles. Man, for 25 grand, it better have a 700 R4. Do not buy that truck with a turbo 350, bro. You will hate it. I promise you. It's the one reason why I don't have Sierra anymore. I should have put a 700 R4 in that truck. Oh my God. Yeah. The Matt thing. You said no one asked for this. Well, fellow, asked Matt McClare about the EV. He said no one asked for the Hellcat either. Really, Matt? Seriously? So nobody asked for something cool, but you gave us something cool. Awesome. Okay. I also didn't ask for a shit sandwich with a glass of piss, but that's what I got with this EV. Okay. It doesn't work like that, Matt, you imbecile, at all. Hellcat. Supercharger, very cool. Loud pipes, better. 700 horsepower, melts my heart. Nobody asked for. I'm telling you, this guy. This is the hubris. This is the arrogance of the people that are running this now. This is making a joke about it. Let them eat cake. Okay, Matt. No problem there, Matt. Pretty princess biatch Matt. I'll tell you what. Nobody asked for it. Let them eat cake. We're going to compare this to the Hellcat. Watch your brand sink to the bottom of the fucking diarrhea lake that you just floated out on. I'm hoping, let me stop right there. I'm optimistic that Dodge will find it in their finer senses to listen to the people that put them in the position that they're in now and put something out there as a product that is worthy of having the Dodge name on it and to carry the legacy that we, the people, have been able to give to Dodge through their products, through taking it to drag strips, the street scene, everything that comes with this. Dodge is forgetting who put him there. And for this absolute freaking STD to say nobody asked for the EV, or nobody asked for the Hellcat either. I'm not saying that it's terminal. I'm just saying that that's embarrassing. Freaking STI Matsty. Good job, Matsty. Chlamydia Matt. Throttle House didn't like that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't. Skid saying, I'm glad Tim is back, but what will there be coming in the next 1 to 2 years? Bet no V8s are coming. Well, you got to remember, Tim is only over Ram. He has nothing to do with Dodge. Dodge that ship has sailed for him. Matter of fact, I believe Tim is on record as saying he didn't want to come back to Dodge because he was not going to be allowed what he needed to be allowed to do. He wouldn't be allowed to do it. And trust me, the dude doesn't need the money. Okay. He's doing this out of a passion. And if they're not going to give him the leeway to exercise that passion, he's not going to stick around. Trust me, he's got whatever Mopars he loves in his garage. He put it to you another way. He's got all the Mopars that he helped to bring to light in his garage. He doesn't need anything. Oh, Sovereign saying the stream is looking good. Thank you. That got a little bit better internet connection. I think that might be the reason why. Sam's asking, ever think the Europeans ruined the American car company for their own gain other than another example is Freightliner. True that. This could say no weak stream. That's funny. Sovereign saying, hello, Kane in the Pain. Are you thinking of getting a TRX? Negative. And I'll tell you why. Too much money and they don't get any looks. So, I mean, if I got a TRX, it's old news at this point. You know what's getting the most news if you're into trucks is the F-150 and the sleeper packages. And can you blame it? I mean, it's a great truck. It's fast as hell. And it's faster than anything the TRX is going to have to offer. Oh, and here's another, by the way, talking about TRXs and a side quest on this. I need to break this to you boys. But the high output Hurricane in the high output Hurricane in the whatever Latinum edition or whatever it is all as fast as a TRX. Oh, I'll go one more further. I just did a draggy hit with my F-150, naturally aspirated 5.0 crew cab, 331 gear, 4-wheel drive, full weight, half a tank of gasoline, and it's gasoline too, 93 octane. That truck just went 13 teen, whatever it was, at 105 miles per hour and change. Okay, so to put that into perspective, that's basically the same mile an hour that the TRX ran in my video where I'm showing a stock TRX making a hit. So, I mean, it's not that far off. The point of all this is that TRX way the hell too expensive. All of those trucks, once you start getting in that range, are way too expensive. But the RHO looks to be kind of doable at 70,000. It's not necessarily cheap, but at an 81, maybe it's an option. Sovereign, no. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. That car. Yeah, yeah. Kane's asking if you found a perfect normal Demon, talking about the OG Demon for 88K, super low mileage, would you consider? Would I consider? I don't know. Here's the thing. It would depend on the color. It might depend on the color and if it had the crate. And if I could ever do anything with the car. That's the other thing. Drag strips are shutting down left and right. And the problem with the Demon for me is that how do I say this? I don't know that I would ever be really happy with a Demon. That being said, one of the all-time happiest, funnest cars that I was ever stuck with was the Demon that we had at the shop that we were using for R&D. I drove that car for about a month straight, and I didn't want to give it back. I absolutely loved that car. It was happy, it was fun, and in drag mode, it rides like a freaking old school Cadillac, just floats down the road. Imperial, I should say. Keep it in the Dodge family or Mopar family. So, but I don't know. The problem is that it's such a good car. It's such a good car, but for me, it'd be a bit of a white elephant. And the reason why I say that is I'm having so much fun with my F-150 that, and with the bikes, that it makes it kind of a difficult, it makes it a difficult sway proposition. It's a lot of power. Slash is asking, good evening, B. Will my 14 Charger 5.7 computer be okay with a SpeedLogic 180 thermostat? Will weird stuff happen with fuel air? Nothing bad will happen with fuel air. It's a 14. I don't know if it's going to throw a code or not. Might want to go with a 192 just to be on the safe side, but I don't think it'll get pissed off at a 180. I'll take that a step further. You know, my Hellcat, it took it almost a full year worth of driving that car before it figured out that it had a 180-degree thermostat. They're pretty easy to swap out, but I would probably go with the 192. Your stock is a 208. And you might as well go with 192 anyway, because the only time the 180 is really going to be doing anything for you is when you're going down the highway. If you don't have the ability to tune your car and adjust your fans, then going with a 180-degree thermostat is questionable at best as far as if it's going to do any good. Go with the 192. Sommer's asking, B, do you think Tim could have some influence on Matt to make Dodge great again? Only if he escorts him out the front door. And yeah, F-150 with a 5.0 ain't bad. Martin, Cybertruck is getting attention in the truck space. Man, I got to tell you, dude, I don't have a problem. My wife, by the way, is like double barrel middle finger. Like if she had 4 hands, it'd be 4 middle fingers for Cybertruck. She hates those things. I don't really have a problem with it. I have no problems with Tesla. I actually like Teslas quite a bit. The big problem that I have with the Cybertruck, though, is that it's a little bit too much. From a looks standpoint, it's a little bit too much from a technology. I don't like having electronically controlled steering. That to me is weird, even though it could be a absolutely fail-safe system. It's really not for me. I don't like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. You cannot swing a dead cat over your head and not bounce it off at least 2 Cybertrucks around here. And It's something about that is just a bit lost on me. Summer, I don't get excited about seeing a dumpster with 4 truck tires on it. It does look like that. The rolling doorstop may be getting attention in the truck space, Martin, but it's also snapping frames anytime people are using it for actual truck stuff. Yeah. Sovereign, yeah, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Kane saying, you can still get the Demon just to drive around just because everybody knows it's rare and special. I would drive the thing around just because it's a great car to drive around, man. I mean, a lot of people would nowadays. It's a wide body Hellcat. I mean, in all reality, that's what the OG Demon is. Matter of fact, it's a wide body red eye Hellcat Challenger. So, I mean, in that respect, it's a great car. This is the thing people don't realize. If you ever get a chance to drive a Demon, put it in drag mode and just drive the car like a car. Just drive it. Don't have any pretense about it. The car doesn't know what it is. Just drive it. Again, it's one of the happiest, most comfortable, funnest cars you can ever drive. And I put a bunch of miles on that car. And I was the first Demon to run a 9-second quarter-mile pass at Houston Raceway Park. And that's fact. That no matter what, I'm the first one to actually cover it. We had a lot of fun with that car, and I fell in love with it. But yeah, it's a great car, and really, you can have the same experience with any red eye. And if you want to have a wide body to give you the look, then get you a wide body red eye, man. They're great cars, man. I mean, and by the way, this is where Dodge gets it right. When Dodge made the Hellcat is built like a thing that is going to war, man. That car is a tank. It's heavy. It's a brute. But that transmission is practically bomb-proof. There's people running 1,200 horsepower through that thing regularly. I mean, that car is so good in so many ways. And it just, it's, I don't know. People that talk down about the Hellcat variants, really any of the Mopars for that matter, because it weren't for the Mopars, none of the hype and the push really would have been there for many people when it comes to muscle cars, things like that. But when it comes to cars like the Hellcat, like the Demon, any of the red eye variants, all of these things, there is a certain just yes when you drive those things. Have you ever driven a Trackhawk? Dude, look, you can say what you want about the Demon. Okay. It's a great car. Okay. Drive a Trackhawk. And when you come away from that experience, you'll be like, what just happened? It's just a little, because of the weight, it's just a little bit quicker than a Scat Pack. You call it like an 11. It's about as quick as a 1320. Okay. That's not taking anything away from it. 1320 is a hell of a quick car in the quarter mile. But here's the thing. It'll run those numbers on the street. It'll run those numbers on the street, and it'll run it in like crappy weather. Like I think it could be raining and the thing will still run a 12, low 12, like a 12.2 or a 12.1. It's crazy how good those things are. This is the type of car that we miss. This is the type of car that we, as Mopar fans, this is the type of ride that this is what you want, man. This is the cool part about it. So I don't know. It bugs the hell out of me that we're looking at a situation where we're just never going to get this again. And what is out there now, that's it. That's all you got. So for everyone that gets wrecked, ripped off, or, whatever, used, abused, whatever, that's just one down. So if you got one, keep up with your maintenance, take care of it. All your consumables, swap them out every other year, brake pads, fluids, all of that. Keep it pretty, keep it good, and buy your replacement parts from Dodge now. Wheel speed sensors, fuel pump drivers, fuel pumps for that matter. All kinds of things you're going to need to keep that thing alive. CVT prototype was cool, man. I appreciate you sending that to me. Some are saying Hellcat is Tim's baby. Yes, it is. Yeah, all-wheel drive makes it great. Sam saying spiritual precursor to the Hellcat, not successor, precursor is the 03 to 06 E55. It's funny you mentioned that, Sam, because I was just talking to Smoking Hot about those cars. God, it wasn't even last week when we were talking about them. And what I was saying, there's not one of those, but it's one of the boxy W210, I believe is what it is, Mercedes platforms. And yeah, the E55 was one of my all-time favorite cars. Matter of fact, when I had my E63, I was looking for an E55 when I found my car. It's a buddy of mine's car. He sold to me for cheap, so I bought it. So, Duke's checking in saying 1320 is the most underrated car out of all of them. Always wanted one. Bro, save your pennies and dimes and get one. They're worth it. One of my all-time greatest memories was with a buddy of mine who's no longer with us. He had the blue, the really pretty blue. Anyway, he had Frostbite. He had the Frostbite Challenger 1320. He picked it up. We were going to go racing that night. Come to find out, track was shut down. So we took that car, him and me, and made for about 2 hours straight, hit after hit after hit. Now let me tell you what. Okay, so he set the record, which still, as far as I'm concerned, stands today for as delivered Demon with a 978. And then Z, driving a different car of his, another Demon, went 976. But he was the first one to cover a 978 and cover with the stock NT05s and all of that. Okay. I helped set that car up that day. And so that's his pedigree. Years and years of racing, record holding, record owning driver. Myself, I had a record holding SRT 392, and my Hellcat was number one in the nation at that time for stock boost 93 octane. So I'm only saying all that to let you know we got two guys that are dedicated as hell Mopar dudes. Both of us record holders. Running that 1320 on the street at 32 PSI front and rear as delivered, all the floor mats, both of us in the car. And the trip was to try to get the car to run a 12.0 on the street. That was the whole idea. Can we cover a 12.0 on the street in those conditions? We went back to 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 back 12.2s. And I would make a hit or two. He would make a hit or two. Finally, he beat me with a 12.1. And it was on like the seventh to the last pass. I couldn't beat it. But anyway, one of my all-time fondest car-related memories is with my buddy in his 1320 Frostbite Blue. I will cherish that memory forever. And that was so much fun because, we were both trying to, it was real competitive, but it was real competitive in that he wanted me to beat him as badly as I wanted him to beat me. Like, we've got to get this car to go faster. And it was a team effort, and it was a lot of fun. So, yes, excellent car. And if you ever get a chance to get one, get it and enjoy the hell out of it. It's a phenomenal car. Ken saying mods equals fun. Yes, they do. Kane, hell knows. Yeah, the Chargy. E55 was a supercharged one. The W210 was NA. Yeah, the E55, that was a great car, man. Really cool car, way ahead of its time. But it's everything about that car when the LX platforms were derived, they're all W211 and W212 architecture and suspension components. And ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a platform that's designed to run 150 miles an hour indefinitely. So it's got great DNA. It's just not pony car DNA, and it's not dragster DNA. It's German Autobahn blaster DNA. And for some reason, that just always seems to be forgotten when people are talking about what the hell is on my shirt. When people are talking about that car and those cars and our cars. Let's see. Macaroni saying the Durango still carries the Hellcat flag currently, and I've learned a light that is at least still available fresh off the press. True that. It is. Kane, the Go Green Challenger and Charger owners, should they feel special? Yeah. The funny thing about the Go Green cars is that I always wondered why they didn't carry the color longer. That was a kind of a limited time offer, and I really like the look of that color on those cars. It's a good looking pop of a color, and I like it way more than the purple. I almost said Go Man Go. That's the orange. But and the Hellraisin is another really pretty color too. But I see a lot of Hellraisin cars. You never ever see a Go Green. Let's see. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm plum crazy. Damn, dude. I need more coffee. I'm still freezing cold. See, for me, I would never have named it plum crazy. That's because it was back in the day. I would have called it violent for violet. But anyway, Eric is in. What is up, brother? Like to see Eric when he comes in. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with Dodge, guys. Look, if we're going to be living in the past, we're going to have to be living in the past, just like our granddaddies and our daddies did. Our grandmamas and our mamas had to live in the past if they're Mopar fans themselves. And that's just the way it is, until Dodge can figure out how to, collect their collective minds and get a car out there that's going to be what the people want and what the people are asking for. And again, I've got to ask you guys, this is a great focus group. We got about 20 folks in the chat right now. What would you want to see? What car would you want to see Dodge produce? Realistically, don't talk, okay, well, a V8 what V8? Not something that you don't know about either. What could they develop? I don't know. They would have to develop or have something already well into the mix. We're not seeing anything about that. I mean, that's something that's been talked about since 2017, guys. So have they been able to keep the secret under wraps for the last 8 years? Maybe. I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying that I know what they were talking about before. I know that the LX platform was on its last legs back in 2014. It was 2014 when they were talking about giving us a new platform, and then they just gave the LX platform a refresh. That's when we got the Hellcat. But in 2018 was going to be the swan song for the LX platform. That's why we got the OG Demon to begin with. But then the labor agreement got re-upped in Brampton, and then that got extended all the way out to 2023. So we know where we're coming with this, and we know what is going on, but we were supposed to have a new V8 a long time ago. This is nothing new. And this is the weird thing. It's almost like one of those strange Mandela effects, because I distinctly remember talking about this back then. And I remember Steve Mignante talking about it. I remember that there was a lot of scuttlebutt, but nothing ever really came from it. Matter of fact, what was it? What is the damn Toyota V8? I had one in a Sequoia, 2U, whatever it is, the 4.6 liter 4-cam V8. It was supposed to be initially something very similar to that. Then they were talking about, well, no, it's going to be more like 5.2 or 5.5 liter. Anyway, it was going to be a great setup. And we all kind of just said, okay, cool. I guess we're going to get more years of the Hemi until they get this other thing through development. And nothing ever happened. So, yeah, the iForce, great engine. Let's see. Sovereign saying a CUDA with a new V8. Yes. Hard Rock saying good evening. Shane saying a dual overhead cam 5.7 and 6.1. Agreed. You know what? I would be okay with just one. A dual overhead cam 5.5 or 6 liter engine would be amazing. And just in different stages of tune, different cams, more compression ratio, performance, different cams, lower compression ratio, pickup truck or SUV. But make it easy. You know, that's the main thing for me. And it just seems like, God, man, Dodge just has overcomplicated this. Side quest. This will happen a lot on this show too. I'll think about something. I'll be talking about something, think about something else, and then whatever I was talking about goes away. Why Ram never put the 6.4 liter in a half-ton truck is beyond my understanding of logic. Sam say I'm actually intrigued by the 3.0 Hurricane. I've seen 5-second 0 to 60 time from the standard output in 1500s. I'm interested to see how fast the HO is. The HO is in like the 4. It's fast. It's real fast. So the standard output in really clean air on a lightened up truck is every bit as fast as my Coyote is. So 0 to 60 in the high 4s, low 13 seconds. It just won't mile an hour the way that actually, I take it back. Standard output up to about 100 miles an hour is every bit as fast as my truck. The problem, though, is that there's no way to tune it, and it will eventually hit a speed limiter in the quarter mile. But yeah, no, they're real quick, and they're very fast trucks. 12-second truck for sure. Gary saying hello from NorCal, praying for Southern California. Yeah, for sure, man. Thoughts and prayers to everybody going through that in Southern California. That is no joke, not cool. You know, good vibes, all the best heading your way, SoCal. Eric saying, talking to Sovereign, CUDA 2-door muscle car with rear wheel drive platform, 32 valve V8. Yeah, anything like that would be great. Oh, Macaroni, I don't know what happened. That car that was under the tarp, that was one of the Demon 170s. I don't know. Oh, that was a silver car. That was the press car. I don't know about the other one. I know one of them was the press car, though. So, the I-Force, my dad drove one in an 03 Sequoia with over 500,000 miles on it. Everything's still original. Yeah, those things go forever. Oh, Shane, yeah, that paired with an HP, it'd have to be an HP 90 to put boost on it. HP 90 love that transmission. Best automatic ever set out into the world. And if you look at all the different cars that HP 90 is in, it'll blow your mind. It's all the real high-end, big, very high horsepower and torque cars from overseas. Eric saying, and now with Shane, say Skid saying, since the 6.4 exists and the HD RAM, in theory, we can see it sooner than later. Maybe. I'd love to see it in a 1500. It needs to be in a 1500. We need 475 or 485 horsepower, 6.4 liter powered pickup trucks. Now, I know we're not going to get a regular cab short bed. I understand that. But quad cab, 6.5 foot bed, hot rod, cool, awesome. Lighter weight. Make it look good. Give us a hot rod. Little Red Express, Warlock, do something cool with that. Please, Tim. We know you want to. But listen, guys, you're going to have to give that man a lot of room to work, though, because, look, this is a freaking barge that he's trying to navigate. And those things don't turn quickly, so just know that coming into this. X is saying, not sure if you took a look at that link, but what are your thoughts on the starting price of the ZRM1 being $175,000? I did a like on that too. So here's the thing: at $175,000, I can, based on the performance envelope and what it would compete with, it seems like sale of the century and a crazy bargain. But I'm not going to allow 6-figure cars to be normalized in my head, much less one that starts to dive even deeper into that territory. I understand why they would ask that much, and I get that for some folks, it's worth every penny of that. But for me, holy moly, that's a lot of money for a car. Now, I say all of that. For all I know, the thing could go up in value. So I might be the dummy that's going, I wouldn't pay that for that car. And then, you know, they start rolling across Mecum at 300,000. I don't know. I was saying, yeah, 5.2 turbo. Yeah, 5.2 be great. Oh, yeah. Toyota is getting a lot of pressure to go back to V8 in their trucks. I can tell you, look, Ford is doing really well with the F-150 guys. Just saying. I mean, look, Ford will sell F-150s because they'll sell them to people that are cool with 6-cylinder turbos. They'll sell them to people that are cool with fleet needs. They've got a regular cab short bed for fleet needs, by the way. It's not just a hot rod. I mean, you can turn one into one, but you can get a regular cab short bed with a 6. And yeah, perfect. It's a great fleet truck. Matter of fact, if we were still running fleet trucks, that's what we would get more than likely. Go back to Ford. But yeah, a lot of folks are asking for the V8. But anyway, the point that I was making with Ford is that if you want a 6, you can get a 6. If you like the torque and the grunt of a twin turbo 6, you can have that. Or if you like the back half, you know, mile an hour and the scream of the Coyote, man, you get that in your pickup truck too. And it runs great. I'm a big fan of the Coyote in the F-150. I will say this, though. I don't think that I would own an F-150 again if I didn't have the ability to tune it. That's a big deal for me. Let's see. Oh, I lost my spot here. Martin saying, seems like there's a legit opportunity to use a Hurricane high output to make a hot rod truck something. I mean, you could. Here's the thing. If it were me, this is what I would do. Again, there's not going to be a regular cab short bed, but if you did a quad cab 6.5 foot bed, it's the lightest of the trucks. Do a street variant. Do something like a street performance truck. Right, we've already the TRX, whatever, and we've got the RHO. Do an HO variant, all-wheel drive. Do the 4-wheel drive, or do a 2-wheel drive. Doesn't matter. Do both. Okay, give an option for both. HO6, lower it a little bit. Give it a cool-looking set of rims. Call it Little Red Express. Call it a Warlock. Call it whatever you want, but give us a cool hot rod. The way that Ford does with their sleeper program. Do that. And man, I think you're going to be on to something. I think that would be cool, and it would resonate with a lot of folks too. It'd resonate really well with Mopar guys because they understand the impact and the importance of Little Red Express and of the Warlock and why those trucks were so important to Mopar performance at all in total back in the day. Luke's asking, any experience with Troy Ding's valve body on Nag 1 cars? None. Back in the day, we used Southern Hot Rod for the builds on Nag 1s. I'll tell you this, those things, they came with a pretty healthy valve body. The only downside to some of the valve bodies is that they get a little bit harsh. So I don't have any experience with his, but I do have experience with some. Oh, yeah. Are saying people want V8 engines in the full-size pickup trucks because the market is there. That's what they want. They want the instant torque. And Shane, yeah, I'm with you on this, man. The Hurricane having more displacement, 3.3, 3.4. I would have really liked to have seen Ford has the Barra inline 6 turbo in Australia. It's a 4-liter, and it is a badass. Like, it is a nasty little girl. Now, it's about as big, I think, as you can get an inline 6 to make it packageable. But damn, figure it out. I mean, 3.5, 3.7 liters, something. Jeep had the 4-liter inline 6 for forever. It's an amazing engine. I think it would have been cool if they would have harkened back to that nostalgia. Give us a 4-liter. And the reason why is you don't have to run 22 or 26 pounds of boost to make it make power, man. Give it a great set of cylinder heads, VVT, the whole bit, but just make it bigger so that it makes more torque and you don't have to compress the living piss out of it the way that they are. Guys, remember, the standard output Hurricane is getting fed the same amount of boost that the Demon 170 is getting fed. And it's got to contend with 87 octane. Think about that for a minute. What a mess. Oh, what did I miss? Oh, Skid saying that's where Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram missed. Should have planned to offer choices. Yep, look at Ford. It's the choices that make the difference, guys. That's why people run to Ford. Skid saying even GM has options. They do. Although GM does have a 4-cylinder turbo as their base engine for their trucks. Weird. Sam saying, I love how ZF is providing the transmission for the new diesel HD. That's pretty cool. Eric's hanging out with Skids. Oh, X is saying there's a 2-door F-150 short bed that I played with when I'm in my Challenger. It's a newer V8 Asuma 5.0. Why didn't Ram do a 6.4 equivalent? They kind of did with the older body style. They had the RT, but they just didn't put the 6.4 in it, which is everybody going, what? The first time I ever even heard about that truck, I initially assumed it had the 6.4 because why wouldn't it? It's silly talk to have that truck with a 5.7. What? No, 6.4, baby. I will say this. If I ever ran across, and this is like, I would have to get rid of some stuff to do this. If I ever did run it, the next build, if you want to call it, if I ever put one together, the one that I would like to do, RT Ram pickup truck, put a nice looking set of wheels and tires on it, stance it just right, and put in essence a stock 392 in the thing, 480 horsepower. Maybe put one of my small cams in it. Probably do that. Put a baby cam in it and a torque converter, and that would be it. Tune it, send it. Long tubes. Hell, I'd even put high flow cats on it. No, I probably wouldn't do that. Maybe I would. I don't know. Anyway, you get the idea. I would have something that is just a freaking fun truck to drive, and that's what I would do. 6.4 intake. Oh, what a good truck that would be. What an awesome, what a fun car, truck, whatever you want to call it, that would make. King saying, owned a 16 Scat Pack and now a 17.50 full bolt-on. Think about getting a 19 to 20 Red Eye. You'll love the Red Eye. Red Eyes are great cars, man. Love them. They're one of the happiest, funnest cars that you can drive on the street. And it would make a good, if you didn't get rid of your 5.0, it would make a good juxtaposition to that car where the 5.0 is going to scream on the big end. The Red Eye does make all of its steam down low and early. I used to out mile an hour. I would gun down Red Eyes with my regular Hellcat just because of the heat and the drag of that supercharger at the back half of the track. But up to about the 1,000-foot mark, it was all Red Eye for sure. Sovereign's wanting to see a sporty car with the H6. I would be all over it. If Dodge made a sporty car, like a Mustang style car with the H6, yeah, shit, yeah. I'd embrace it with open arms. V8, what V8? Who needs it? This car doesn't suit the car. That would be cool, but woulda, coulda, maybe all of that. I don't know. Shane saying that single Ram with a 6.4 and some turbos or a whip would do damage. It would, but it'd be a ripper just being NA. And that's the thing, man. I've done, and I guess I can say this, you can make something, you can make a car, you can make a build, you can throw a ton of power at a car like this right there. Okay. That Viper. You can throw a shitload of power at something and ruin it. I've done it. I've driven cars for guys where I was like, oh my God, this thing is going to be a disaster flick. And it was. But I'll tell you, it sucks. if I had one of those trucks, yeah, in fact, I would love to do a whip build on something like that and do a 392 with, a 3.0 Whipple, built internals, the whole bit. That would be a lot of fun. But in a lot of ways, it would be almost like overkill. You'd never be able to get the truck to plant on the street. And a lot of times it's just more fun to build something that is fun, because in my experience, when I start building stuff that's fast, that is a full-time job. That is exactly what that car's whole ethos is. And I've done it before, and I've done it again, and I've done it again, and I've regretted it every time that I've done it. Now, paraturbos, now that I think about it, paraturbos would be pretty cool. See what I mean? That's how it happens. Or a high compression setup. I'll tell you what, Matt Ficus over at Moe's Performance, he owns all of the pickup truck records. And he and I have had some long conversations about some cherry combinations for those trucks. When I used to do the Moparmageddon event, I mean, we would set national records every year with those trucks. He would set national records every year with those trucks. Eric, man, I don't know if Ford would ever bring back something like a Gran Torino or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, it's almost like Dodge tried to bring back the Imperial or something with the Chargy, because that thing is just too much, way too big. King saying, my 5.0 is awful. It's uncomfortable base model. I got it for cheap. Or should I just get a 2016 to 2018 Hellcat with a red eye blower? Don't get the red eye blower. Don't get wrapped up in that. Just get you a 17 and up Hellcat. You're going to want a 17 and up. Just get you, 17 and up Hellcat, tuned. That's it. I mean, you don't really have to do anything to them to have a whole lot of fun with them. Now, if you want to throw the kitchen sink at it, be my guest, but it's absolutely unnecessary. I'll put it to you like this. A 276 upper will get you a 276 upper on race gas is a 970 car. So, I mean, it just depends on how fast you want to go. Up to about 940, it's just pick your fuel and pick your pulley ratio. That's it. X is saying, I've been getting interested in the C7s, but damn, V4 mode completely turned me off. Sucks because I really love how the C7s look. Yeah. Same. Big time. You got to get a manual. I don't think has the DOD, the displacement on demand. And as far as my all-time favorite cars to drive, C7 with a manual transmission is the Z06. Yes. In fact, if I were to get another car, like car, if I were to ever get another car, for you guys that don't know, I am a 2-time recovering Corvette owner. I would probably get a C7 Z06. That's how much I like those cars. It reminded me so much. It was just, yes, love that car. Skid saying probably cheaper to just do a Hellcat swap and do a 1500. Depends. Depends on where you get your parts. Saints, I love both fun and fast builds. I totally understand. I just picked up an LS1 recently. I'm looking for an IROC Camaro or a 9802 Camaro to drop it in. That would be a lot of fun. Talking about in the long run. Yeah. The swap. The LS swapped third gens are a lot of fun. My wife had one. We came really close to doing an LS swap in that car. The Gran Torino. If they do, that'd be cool. I just don't know if they'll do it. King said I was going to take it to Ripatune. I know Adam that he has the fastest Trackhawk in the world, makes 2,000 wheel. It's a twin turbo setup with a custom block. Well, yeah, it's a twin turbo setup with a custom block. I mean, it's you talk about no budget. Yeah. Go with whoever you trust, man. That's the main thing. The Barger. That's a good one. Sovereign saying B has to get his hands on a 72 to 74 Challenger as a project. Y'all know I love the frowny face Challengers, man. I really do. Well, Eric, I'm hope that'd be cool if you're right, man. If they do have a car like that, that would be great. Something cool, man. That's what I want to see. Not just another electric Razor on wheels. Shane said, I got too many projects at this point. That was me at one point. I'm really trying to pare back everything. You still have to build my Challenger. Yeah. I'm trying to move away from some of the projects that I'd been working on before. Foxy has kind of hit a stalemate with me right now. The bikes, I'm having a lot of fun with the motorcycles. Matter of fact, got the GSX-R 1000 sitting in the shop right over here. I spent quite a bit of time with it today. Matter of fact, been comparing setups, GSX-R 750 versus GSX-R 1000. Just getting the bike sorted out. This is the thing with bikes. And I'll save this for Two Wheel Tuesday, but whenever you're setting up suspension on a bike, you do seriously have to take weather and temperature into account. And so what worked really well when it was a little bit warmer is now real stiff because the oil in the shocks, or oil in the shock and in the forks is, it's cold. So it's a little bit stiffer. So I was just, riding around. Although I did get a chance to have some fun with it today. So that was a good thing. But damn, it did get cold there for a hot minute. King said, I really want something fast enough and fun for the street. That's why I thought stock Red Eye was the fastest car I've ever gotten a chance to ride in that a friend had. A great car, man. No, listen, they're amazing cars. Just if you get a Red Eye, get a Red Eye. If you get a Hellcat, Hellcats have their advantages, and so do Red Eyes. As kids, I was excited about Scout Motors too until I found out they're all EVs. What the hell, right? Eric's checking in with King Cobra. Good evening. It's good saying, dude, yes. And with that, fellas, I have got to wrap it up. I've got to get back to work. But listen, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me tonight. Would not do this without you. Love each and every one of you. And don't forget, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. Guys, thanks again. Catch you on the next one. Don't forget, Two Wheel Tuesdays on Tuesdays at about this time. Be talking all motorcycle related stuff. Got some stuff I want to share with you, some bikes coming up that I'll be doing reviews on. And with that, now it's a wrap. See you later.